I have a babysitter home. I'm in my office. Nobody bothers me, so I'm ready to go.
Outstanding. You got your life dialed in. Lifestyle business.
Yeah, that's it. I just finished recording a screencast for a client, about to send it over. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any big wins from the last week? What's been going on in the world of Vadim?
I guess the win would be to finally figuring out how to, well, not figuring out, figuring out the first part of sending a cold email strategy. I'm getting replies now, so now I'm trying to move to a phase 2, try to convert them to a client,
Gotcha.
So the win is basically figuring out cold email strategy.
Did you buy a list or where'd you get your list?
Buy list, yeah. Well, yeah, buy, I guess. No, scrape actually, scrape, not buy, scrape.
Awesome.
Scrape, yeah.
Super cool. Well, welcome you guys. Welcome Doug and Jeff. We should have some more people streaming in here briefly. Today, Joran is going to go over mastering automations. And so far, he is the only master of automations that I know of. So you'll be in good hands with him guiding you through that process. I did want to mention, Patrick and I have mentioned it a couple of times that we're kind of planning a marathon here. And now I was kind of resistant at first, but kind of getting hyped on it now, getting into the groove. So I wanted to put that out to anybody who may want to do a marathon, maybe sometime closer to the end of the year. Although I just got the obvious message that most of the best marathons do not happen in December because it's too cold and people are doing other things. But there's a ton of them around. It doesn't have to be some big Boston or Chicago marathon or anything. So we'll find one. And if enough people are interested, maybe we can make a little weekend out of it and get an Airbnb or something and kind of hang and, reach one of our goals together, achieve something. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me individually and just let me know if there's an interest, and we'll get you, get a little training group together on an app or something like that and figure it out. You have anything to add to that, Patrick?
I'm interested. That sounds really cool. I'd like to do a marathon, and I like Airbnbs. I like hanging out with people.
Yeah,
I like competing. I also like it when the call streams into the group, which I'm not convinced that that's what's happening right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is?
It is happening.
Okay.
And just as a caveat, this is not going to be a competition, Patrick. So you may want to, sit this one out. This is just going to be kind of like a fun, like finish it and pat yourself on the kind of a deal.
It is what you make of it. I'll probably compete with myself, set some personal goals. But yeah, I think the win in the competition spirit is just getting a group together, accomplishing something like this is huge. Yeah, I've thought about, hey, is there a way that we can kind of like tack on like a charitable component to this? Maybe get some sponsors that donate and go to a good cause. So just kind of kicking that around. I guess we'll let that play out and see, see what kind of response we get from our just mentioning it and seeing who wants to jump in.
Yeah, I don't want to have to run ads or anything for it. So hopefully some people will jump on board.
Not be good to run ads for someone else's marathon.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm out. I've got a couple of things I'm going to focus on here. So, Joran, you're going to take over, right?
Yep.
Do we have any wins? Is that Gary Helms? That's a win.
Gary Helms.
What's up? How we doing?
I wasn't sure if you knew how Zoom worked still.
Yeah, man, I pop in here and there. I actually just got done with a job and I'm like, oh, it's 3:02. Let me jump on here. I know Jordan's gonna show some automation.
Yeah, awesome, man. You got any wins? Any wins, Gary?
Yeah, a few wins. Bought a new piece of equipment, so that should help. For the tree business. And then a competitor / guy I'm working with he's also a New York State trooper, but he has a tree business. So I signed him on as a client, doing his SEO. So that's a win, rebuilding his website. That's a win.
So you're not a competitor?
Yeah,
your-
but I mean, the market's so big and I'm at the top, so I don't mind bringing him up, towards the top. Maybe once he starts getting a little too, they'll be like, all right, you're on your own now.
Time for the negative SEO sabotage
Bad
playbook.
bad links. I don't know what's going on. No, I wouldn't do that.
No, you wouldn't.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, you too,
Yeah,
Gary.
you too,
Congrats
Gary.
on the equipment and closing the deal.
Yeah, I keep looking at the weather. I'm like, when is it going to rain? You inspired me. I'm like, I need some rain. I'm just going to go and run in the rain. So, It just hasn't rained up here in like weeks.
Yeah, well, this is
There
what
it
you
is.
do is you get that four-wheeler, get
Mhm.
Katie and get some kind of hose water apparatus, and she can just follow you around and spray you while you run, and
That
you can get
sounds
the
like
real
a-
deal.
Great Saturday evening, afternoon date.
Yeah, that sounds like some Buffalo Farm fun right there.
I'll send you a video.
I'm gonna bounce out of here. You guys enjoy the call. Joran,
All right.
take it away. Congrats on the wins. Keep them coming, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye, Patrick.
Okay, bye.
Well, I see Janeri's got a win. You got your hand up. So
Yes,
Hear what you
I
got.
do. Hey, Joran.
Hi.
Really quick. So if anybody have heard, I've been kind of prospecting and playing around with Alignable and just building relationships and whatnot. And I have two contractors that reached out to me, connected with me. So I have 2 meetings with them. And I also got notification by Alignable. I just confirmed it. I had a meeting earlier that they selected me to host one of their, they do like these things called Smart Connect where they do this and it's networking opportunity. So they want me to host one of those and I am going to complete my application to get that going, which will give me more visibility on the platform and whatnot. So it's kind of going to be a new inbound of leads as well. So
That's awesome. What kind of people are going to be on that call?
it's businesses throughout the nation, to be honest. So I don't know what the actual event that I'll be hosting on a weekly basis or if it's going to be monthly, whatnot. But right now, I just know that they need somebody and they selected me to do so. So it's small business owners, small to medium business owners, which it's all kinds of avenues. I mean, from insurance brokers to mortgage to contractors, all kinds of people. So. And a lot of digital marketers on there too, by the way. So
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Doug, I see you've got your hand up. What you got?
Yeah, quick win. This month, 17 conversions so far on Rootzilla for the
Nice.
month. So
I don't know if
Super
you
cool.
looked at it recently, Doug, because I heard the number was higher. I talked to Robert this morning and he said it was more up in the 20 plus range.
well, total, but just this month, 17
just-
so far. Yeah. 4 today, 13 yesterday, 94 clicks. So pretty good average. So
Yeah, that's off
starting
email
to move.
That's off an email strategy.
Yeah. It's off of email list that we have, which encompasses 250,000 plus. But we've only hit 500 so far. So we're trying to refine the email strategy.
Right.
First one was kind of a teaser. Second one was informative. And that's what they really balled on with the teaser, then the informative, they started pouncing, it looks like. So we'll keep you up to date and be happy to share.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Doug. I think we are ready to move on now. We're going to start talking about a lot of different automations today. So I've got some kind of a mix between some more basic automations for new users, and then it's going to go into some more complicated stuff. Let me go ahead and get my screen sharing. And also I put together a resource for everybody because I get a lot of questions. Jeff, can you let me know if you can see my screen?
I can.
Cool. All right. I put together a resource for you guys within on the support.leadsnap.com website. So over here on the left side, you'll now see automation templates, and it will filter to all of these templates that we're going to be covering today. So if you open up one of them, it's going to have the different steps within that automation. And for certain ones where there is maybe a lot of information on here to be copied, for example, this review request, we're going to have all of the scripts that we have in here as copyable. So you can go ahead and just copy it and throw it in there and make any edits to it to make it fit your use case. So yeah, the automations that we're going to cover today, the first one, we're going to talk about a very simple lead notification. Then we'll talk about some lead nurturing. So adding your leads into the pipeline and kind of managing them. Those can be for your own leads, for your agency, if you're prospecting business owners. It can also be for your lead gens leads. Depending on the size of your agency, you may want to, if you're just getting started, kind of do that yourself. But if you are a larger agency and you have a lot going on, then you can coach your clients on how to do this part of it. And then at the very end, after all of the nurturing sequences, we're going to talk about the review request one. And I've got a demo automation set up there. So, and then at the end, if we have any time, we'll open it up to like a Q&A where we can just do like a general, it can be about these automations or anything about LeadSnap. Cool. So let's start with this lead notification sample. Like I said, this is going to be for more if you're a new user, then it's really important to set up your automation so that you're sending your clients the leads. They're not automatically going to be set up to deliver to your clients. So you will need to use an automation to do that. For this example, we set it up where it's going to be a new form submission. And for your specific company, it's important to select the company in the filter here. For pretty much all of your automations, you'll want to have a company filter on here. Otherwise, it will trigger when anything happens for any one of your companies. That is the importance of that filter. Then we have a text message going out, and we can have it sent to the associated client for that company. And it's going to send them the information that is on the form that was filled out. I'm sure most of you guys understand this and probably have this set up. But I'll also make sure that these fields, if you do copy this automation example, are the same fields that are on your form and not necessarily the ones that are in our example. Also, by the way, if anybody has any questions while we're going through this, feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself and say something, because we are going to get into some a little bit more complicated ones now. Go back to example. So the next automations, in fact, I'm going to duplicate this page. Okay. The next automation that we're going to go into is going to be adding them to pipelines. So we can do both a form submission or a phone call. It's a little bit more complicated when adding a phone lead to the pipeline because we don't have a lot of information. So it's kind of up to you or whoever's answering the phone. If you're teaching your client to do this, it may be difficult because they will have to add the name in to that lead. So it kind of depends on how much you can actually coach your client to be able to do. I know I've talked to a lot of people and we've experienced it ourselves. Sometimes it can be hard to coach your clients into doing things, especially when it comes to using the CRM. But the form lead is really simple. So we're going to check out this form lead automation example. We have the form submission as the trigger. Then we have the company filter as always. And what I like to do is have a text message sent out. We already direct people to a thank you page, but I don't think a lot of people are sending them like a thank you message via text. Just for an extra touch point when they're filling out this form submission, we can say, hey, thank you for filling out this form on our website. And a member of our team is going to be contacting you very shortly. Kind of just, gives them a heads up, know that their form submission was received and they're expecting that call back from the business owner. And then even if you have a time frame, maybe your client has like an average time that they usually get back to them, then we can put that on there as well. Then we're going to have it added to the pipeline. So you will need to create a pipeline first. If you don't know how to do that, it's over here on the left side in pipelines. And I've already set one up for this demo purposes, this lead nurturing pipeline. We can open up this pipeline here and we can see that there's several different stages that I've kind of created as an example. We have a new form lead, a new phone lead, appointment set, provided a quote follow-up, job closed, or unsold. So the way that we have this first automation set up that we were just looking at, when a new form submission comes in, then it's going to get added to that lead nurturing pipeline. I know I might be kind of going quick on this. So like I said, if anyone has any questions, just feel free to stop me. We can dive a little bit deeper into any of these details. But after it's added to the pipeline, then you'll be able to go here and view that lead in this area. And then we can decide what we're going to do with it next. And then the same thing with the phone call. If you have the phone call set up, it's the same exact pipeline or automation, just adding it to the pipeline. Let me go out of here. We'll go back to our screen that has all of our automations. The next thing that we like to do, and this is unrelated to the pipeline for a second, we're going to get back into that right after this. But I think it's really important to follow up on any missed calls, and especially to do that very quickly, because you don't want those calls to kind of go dead or call around to the next person. These are very important to us, and to make sure that they know that somebody's going to be getting a call back. I have this message set up right here. This is a missed call to text message. This is both going to the client, and it's also going to go to the lead that was trying to call in the same automation. So we have a new phone call. We have our company filter as always. Then we have the status is equal to missed. We're going to wait 1 minute because we don't want to send out a text message as soon as they call. It's probably, if you don't have a wait time, it'll even come through like as soon as the call is missed, they're going to get a text message, and that might seem a little bit weird. So we do have a 1 minute wait time to seem a little bit more natural. And we're going to send the first text message here is set up to go to the associated client for company, just letting them know they missed a phone call. I also dragged over the phone field, which is going to put the caller's number in there so that they can just click it and give them a call back very easily. We want to make it as easy as possible for the client. They have no excuses not to do it. The next thing is going to be the message that is going to the contact. So now we have the new SMS step set up to go to the contact, letting them know, hey, this is client name with client company. We're sorry we missed your call. We're on the phone with another customer, and we're going to give you a call back in just a couple minutes. So like I said, it's just to try and keep that lead warm and to make sure that we can save them. Do we have any questions so far? These were kind of the more simple ones. So maybe you guys don't have any questions on this. I'll just give you guys a second to make sure that we're all good.
Is anyone using this form submission to text confirmation?
I think most people are using the confirmation. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are doing that one. Janeri says
Yeah,
no.
That's a good one. We use it a lot in our agency. I think it's super valuable for it to go straight to text, and then they know they're being taken care of, because what they're going to do is they're going to be thinking, oh, I need to find somebody who's going to answer the phone or respond right away. They're just going to keep going down the list. But if all of a sudden they get a text, that's going to be a pattern interrupt, and maybe they'll just be like, okay, well, somebody's got me taken care of, so I can stop looking.
Yeah, I think that there's like as many like touch points that you can put onto a lead as possible, I think is good, obviously without overdoing it. But sending them that text message as soon as they either miss a call or fill out a form submission just lets them know that they're being taken care of. And a lot of companies aren't going to be doing this as well. So if they are calling down the list and then they get to you and then they get that text message, it's going to make you stand out over the competition. So the next thing that we're going to go over is how to set up some automations that trigger when you're moving certain deals through the pipeline. So, in this example, we've had someone come to our website and they filled out a form submission. Like I said, this could either be for your agency website, or it could also be for one of your lead gen websites. And they filled out this lead. Now they're in this deal, and we want to coach our client to kind of move these leads around to make sure that they are following up as much as they can and selling these leads, especially if you're on a pay per lead deal. The more leads that they can sell, the more that both of you guys are going to make. So we have this appointment set category. This is more like, in my head when I was creating this, we want to make sure that the lead is followed up with, and we have an appointment set to go provide a quote. Obviously, this is going to be more for like a contractor type company. If you have something that is going to require different fields, then you can go ahead and edit the pipeline to fit your needs. But let's say they got the form lead, they followed up with them, and now they have an appointment set to give them a quote. Then they go give them a quote. So now I'm going to move it into the provided a quote field, and we have a provided a quote automation, and we're going to check that out right now. So just by moving it into that stage of the pipeline, we have the trigger set as deal is moved to a new stage. and the stage is equal to provided a quote. What it's going to do is it's going to wait until the next day and just send out a simple follow-up text. I don't think I didn't put like an actual script in here. It's just kind of like a dummy text. But basically what we'll want to do is send them a text message to follow up and see if they're still interested. I think that there's a lot of contractors that are going out and providing quotes, and they especially might be the actual lead. They're getting quotes from several companies. A lot of times they're not just getting a quote from one company. So if we can follow up the next day and just be really on top of our game and make sure that they know that we care and we want their business, like I said, that's going to have a big impact, and it's going to lead to your client being able to land more deals. So very simple. All they have to do is move the deal into this stage, and it's automatically going to send out that customized text message that applies to them, and let them know that, like I said, we care about them. And so the next one is going to be the quote follow-up. So we just provided the quote, we followed up with the next day, but let's say they don't get back to us. And get back to my automations here. So now that we have the quote follow-up, so they didn't respond, we sent them the first follow-up, but they're kind of ghosting us. We can put them into another sequence, and this one could be either a single, one-time message out, just checking in to see if you're ready to move forward with your project, or you can even put them into a longer sequence that's going to have a wait time of a couple days, and maybe you want to reach out to them a few times over the course of a week or something. Some people maybe are still deciding, maybe they're hung up on the price point and they're just thinking about it for a while. So it's always good to just put them into a sequence and follow up on them. We don't want to do it too long. So I would say maybe about a week and follow up with them 2 or 3 times during that week. And then the last one, so this is going to be kind of the most complicated, but the most important, which is the review request. And I think that the way that you set up your review request is going to have everything to do with the results that you're getting. And there's several different ways to do it. I think this is one of the most common questions that I get is about the review request and how to do it effectively. The way that I have it set up in this particular case, because I want to use the pipeline so that our clients can kind of manage all of this from one place, is they can just move it to the job closed. They did the work, it's finished, move the deal to the job closed, and boom, they're now in the review request sequence. Nothing else needs to be done. That's it. Just by moving the card, they're going to be placed into that sequence. Now, additionally, you can still add other people to this review request just by adding them from the contact screen. Doesn't only have to be from the pipeline. We can do it both ways. Or you can do it one or the other. It just depends on what your use case is. But if we come to the contacts, we can highlight them all from the left side, select add to automation, and then we can select that particular automation. The one that I have set up right here, we go ahead and take a look at it. This is going to be, like I said, deals moved to new stage. That stage is equal to closed. The company filter doesn't necessarily matter as much on this screen because it's just based off the pipeline. If they get to that, they're not going to be in the pipeline if they're in a different company anyways. Then we're going to wait 2 days. I think that, obviously it's not best to ask for a review the same day that the job has been completed. I think it's better to wait at least 1 to 2 days before sending out the first request. So after the client moves it into that field, 2 days later, we're going to send out the first email and text message. The way I have this set up, and like I mentioned before, I just want to mention it again, we do have all of these available on the support website, and you can check out this and also download all of the scripts that are in here. But so we're going to send out an email. We're going to wait 5 minutes and send out a text message. I don't like to have them go out at the same time personally. It just makes it look very automated, and we want to make it feel as real as possible. So we're in the email. I've got a pretty long script here asking for a link. We don't need to have you can insert your own link directly in here if you'd like, but I don't really recommend it because it's not going to be able to work with the end if a review submitted feature. And I'm going to go over that right now. If we insert a step, yes, Scary Helms, you have a question?
Hey man, good to see you, Jordan. So You said that you don't like to send out the review requests the same day that the job gets done. Is there like science behind that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so it kind of depends. Like, especially more recently, we are trying to train our clients into like mentioning it as they're doing it. So we kind of like have them mention it as they're doing the job, and then a couple days later, we're sending out the text message as more of like a follow-up. It also kind of just like, I don't know, gives them time to think about it, and then, you know, I don't. It does seem like they are more likely to leave the review.
Yeah, I think
Set up-
selling it along the way is a good idea about how important it is to your business, you know, and it's like, hey, you know, we're an ethical company, and, you know, the way that we are able to serve more of your neighbors in the area is by getting reviews and getting better rankings because of it. So it really helps us out. You know, we just helped you out by, like, you know, solving your tree problems or whatever. Just kind of posture it like that. And if you have that kind of rapport and you've gone back and forth with them a couple of times and sending it right at the time you collect the check or whatever, I don't think that's an issue. But for people who aren't really curating and cultivating the review like that, then maybe it makes sense to wait a little bit.
Yeah, and reviews are, I mean, obviously being digital marketing, as long as we had Jeff, you know, we know reviews are important. We always hear it, but actually being in the field, the last 72 hours, my partner stayed in Pennsylvania. So I've been running the field this week, and it's unbelievable how many people are like, oh, we called you because of your reviews. And, you know, obviously me knowing how important reviews are, I've gotten 4 just this week from customers.
Yeah, well, when they say that, just say, well, that's why they're so important to us, and we value these.
100%.
We would value your review. You know, here's the link. Please leave us one. You know.
Right, and that's what I was wondering, Jordan. Can you set it up to have multiple like review reminders, like maybe one that goes out, like if I come back to the office and I'm like, okay, cool, moved it to close, and then it sets out the automation. Can you set up another one for maybe 2 days after, or is it just one and
Absolutely.
done?
No,
Okay.
absolutely. And I already have it set up in this example. So I'm going to be showing you that.
Perfect.
And then also, I just want to say this again, like all of this I don't really recommend just like taking this exactly how it is and implementing it. You can, but I think that everyone's going to have like a different use case or a different idea of how to use it. So absolutely feel free to change it. If you don't want to wait 2 days that before sending out the first request, then just delete the wait time. If you think that you're getting better results by doing it sooner, then do that. You can even, maybe we put this to like 2 hours instead of 2 days, right? So you know, it gives them time, gives you time to get home, and you know, it looks a bit more natural. It's not as soon as you do it, but it also, it's waiting on you to move it through the pipeline, so that's going to take a little bit of time anyways. So maybe you don't need this wait time at all. But yeah, I do appreciate your question, and hopefully that answers it for you. Cool. All right. Vadim, what you got? You muted, Vadim.
Okay, now you hear me, right? So remember we used to have that gatekeeper feature
Yes.
enabled. Do we use it or not any longer?
No, we don't have that anymore. Unfortunately, for legal reasons.
Understand. So basically you need to know that the customer is happy before you're sending it over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess realistically, in a perfect world, if we're working with a client that does terrible work and all of their customers are unhappy, we might not work with that company. We usually like to work with the clients who are the best of the best and are doing good work and have our, you know, their clients are going to be happy no matter what. Obviously, that's not always going to happen. There will be some cases where it didn't work out, and maybe the customer's unhappy for some silly reason and it wasn't necessarily the fault of the client. I understand that happens, but it should be a rare case that happened. If your client is pissing off everybody that they're doing work for, then I think that there's a different issue. So I don't really see a reason why, you know, you're sending out these review requests. You shouldn't get a bad review for every single one that you're setting out. You might get one out of 20. It definitely might happen, but that's also not going to be a horrible thing to have, one not perfect review on your score. It's not going to affect your rankings. And it's just, if anything, it's just going to look more natural. And what we've been doing is, you know, I believe it was just last week's call, you can always try to get that bad review removed, or just reply to it with something very, you know, very personal, and reply to it as best as you can. And people are often just going to look over that as long as they see a good reply from the business owner. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Yeah, just, I mean, the reason I mean, what I was thinking about just instead of monitoring each job, which one was closed, which one was not, just go and send an email to the entire list of calls you got,
Mhm.
even though, let's say, no, you know, no work was done to them with them, maybe send it over to them, and if they give a good review, which is unlike, but fine, if not, then at least we're gonna get into the inbox.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss doing it that way, of just like sending out a blast to all of your calls or form submissions. It obviously you're going to send it to a few different groups of people, like one who never ended up getting work done by anybody. You might send it to some people that ended up getting work done by a different company, and then you're going to send it to the right people, which is going to be the people who got the work done from your company. I think that the last two of those are not going to be that bad. Like, obviously, you know, the people who went with your client service, those are going to be the best. I think personally, if they got work done by a different company, there's a chance that they're just going to see this come in and end up leaving a review. They might think that that this text message that is being sent out is from the company they got the work done from, and who knows, they might just leave a review anyways. And then they're going to send it to people that didn't get any work done, and I don't necessarily know what they're going to do with that information. Are they going to leave a bad review just because you sent them a text message, but they didn't go with your company? I'm not sure. But I don't really like, personally, I don't really like doing it that way, but I don't think I wouldn't like, strongly urge you against it. I would say maybe just test it out and, kind of feel it out, feel what your results are, if that's something that you want to do.
All right, thanks. And another question, I mean, once, let's say, an estimate was given to a potential client, we set up the sequence of sending text messages.
Mhm.
Right? Let's say we set a sequence of sending 3 messages, right?
Right.
Let's say the first text message sent, and the client says we went with somebody else. How do we put a stop that the second text message is not going to go out and the third message is not going to go out?
Okay. So yeah, the way to like stop an existing automation is you can actually go to, if we go to all automations, there is a few different tabs here in your automation. So you've got your in progress, which is going to be the first one. The next one is the history, and then we've got edit, duplicate, and delete. So if there's people that are currently in a sequence, then you're going to find it in the in progress tab. I don't have any sequences that are currently running, but you will see their name in there, and you'll be able to click on the X to remove them from that sequence.
So it's a manual process. You have to monitor.
It is, but the other thing is, some people will, because we have in all of these automations, when we come back into here, in our text message, we have the stop to end. If they reply stop, and it's going to tell them, it's going to give them this in the message already. It's going to say reply stop to be removed from the sequence, right? So all I have to do is click stop, and they'll be removed automatically.
Okay. All right, got it. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, so I'm going to continue on with this, and I'm also going to kind of address, Gary, what you were talking about. I'm going to show you those additional sequences in here. So right now we've got the wait time we changed it to 2 hours. We're going to send an email, and we're going to send the text message 5 minutes apart. So this is like what I'm counting as the first outreach attempt for this review. We're just doing 2 different channels to try and get the highest chance of success. And we've got the wait time already in here for 2 days later. We're going to send out a second email and a second text message, again, 5 minutes apart. So now we've got 2 completely separate outreach attempts, 4 total messages, 2 emails, 2 text messages. And in the second outreach that I usually do something a lot more simple. These are usually pretty eye-catching. Hey, did you see my last email? they get pretty good open rates, and these people are, you're just saying, hey, just checking if you saw my last message, and you can include the review link in there again. Same thing with the text message, just following up. If you got my text message earlier, this really helps us out. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we've got the link to leave a review in there. Now, there's no limit to the number of times, like there's no system limit to the number of follow-ups that you can set in here. So you could do as many as you want, but personally, we don't do more than 2. I think we've tried doing 3 for a little bit, but usually after they don't leave a review after 2 outreach attempts, it seems to be pretty much a lost cause. So we don't continue to follow up with them. Cool. Any other questions from anybody on this? Oh, Vadim, is your hand still up from the last question, or do you have another question? I think it might still be up from the last question. If you end up having another question, just let me know, Vadim. But I think that we're good. I got through all of this a little bit faster than I expected. So it's currently 12:36, and now we can open up for a Q&A. Like I said, it can be if related to automation specifically, or it can be general related to any part of the account. So if anyone's got any questions, then go ahead. And we got Shannon Donovan. What's up? You're currently muted.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
And maybe I did have to leave for a second, and I don't know if I missed this question or not, but I thought we couldn't text out to people right now.
Yeah, no, you can by having the toll-free number set up.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can't remember if I fully informed you about everything about.
I know I asked you that question, and I haven't gotten a chance to read the answer. So.
Oh, okay. No
okay.
worries. Yeah, just so the toll-free is different than like the local registration. Whereas if you register a toll-free number for A2P, it's instantly activated and ready for text messaging. Like it's approved as soon as you submit the registration, which is great. And we can use that, set that as the default, and use that as the sender for all of these text messages, both for review requests and to your client. And they do have 100% deliverability rates, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's like really, really easy to get these toll-free numbers and register them right now, which is why we're kind of doing it and offering it as a solution, as like a intermediary while we're working on the local number registration, since those are like way more difficult to get approved. For some reason, the toll-free is just a good option for now.
Hey, Jorn. Oh,
Yeah.
Let me raise my hand here. So can they text back to that toll-free number?
Yeah, they can.
So do you get a toll-free number for each account?
No, I mean you can do it that way, but it's not necessary. We're using one toll-free number right now for all of our accounts. There's not like much of a limit on how many text messages can be sent from these numbers. So we're just setting them as the sender for all of our companies.
How do you know? Like, is there like
There'll be a thread if they text back.
I
Then
got
you'll be able
so
to
then you
read.
can see
Yeah.
what you sent out, where it came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay, awesome.
Cool. Thomas is asking what the cost of the toll-free number is and for sending. So the cost is actually the exact same as the a la carte, as an a la carte number. So it's $5 a month for the number, and then 0.014 cents per text and 0.05 cents per minute for those numbers. So it's exactly the same as the local number pricing. Cool.
And you
Any
can
other?
put one of those on your package.
What is that?
You can get a toll-free number on your package as well.
No, you actually can't. They're not
Only a la carte.
a part of the phone plans. Yeah, they are a la carte only for the toll-free numbers.
Got it.
Um,
Cool. Any other questions?
One other thing, when they do answer the review, let's say the first one, then it automatically, that doesn't have to be manual to stop them. That automatically stops asking them for the second time, right?
Oh yeah, if they end up leaving the review.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I actually started talking about that and got distracted. So we have
Oh,
this
okay.
step right here, the end if a review submitted. So
Okay.
this does need to be added into the sequence, but it doesn't matter where this is in the sequence. Like, as long as it's in there anywhere, it is going to work. And no matter which message they link they click on to go leave that review, they are going to be removed from that sequence wherever they're at in it.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, Jeff, I don't know if you have anything else or
Not really. If you guys have any other questions for Joran, that would be ideal. If you have any questions for me for that matter, I'm do my best to answer them. If not, then we can just get off of here. But automations are amazing. I mean, we use them extensively in the agency and have been implementing them for the last couple of years, and different use cases come up all the time. So Joran, going over these are a lot of them that we've kind of honed in on and used over the past couple of years. So super valuable. And I mean, if you're not using them, I think you're missing an opportunity for sure, not only for reviews, but just for kind of solidifying the relationship with a new customer, potential customer that's coming in, to make them feel like they're being taken care of, because that's just more and more what those customers want, is they want to be acknowledged and recognized and be like, okay, I'm not playing phone tag with somebody. They've told me they're going to call me and I feel comfortable with that. And then, you know, they can kind of feel like you're a good candidate to do the work, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also just put the link to the support site in the chat if anyone needs that. And the automation templates are available here in this left category. You just need to click that and it will show all of the ones that we've covered today. Janeri, yes, you've got your hand up again.
Yes. Hey, I think I asked you this before. I'm not sure if there's any updates or any information on it. So the link when we do review requests, and if you mentioned something about this, I apologize, but it's like a long link. Are we able to customize that link in any way, shape, or form? Because I believe it goes out as our white label domain name instead of, yeah. So, or is there a roadmap or anything that you guys might be working on that?
Yeah, definitely. Like that would be, it is something else on the roadmap where we can have like customizable URLs, or maybe just give you the ability to add the second part of it. The first part is going to either be LeadSnap, or if you have your white label set up, it's going to be your domain. But the other thing is, like, you could theoretically right now, and this may be what you guys are already doing, is just putting the link directly into the body of the text. But unfortunately, then you don't have the functionality of being able to take advantage of the end if review submitted to get that white labeled. Or sorry, if you're putting it directly in the text, this is not going to work. You will have to be using the included link in here. But yeah, definitely something that is on the roadmap, and I can, you know, see if we could put a little bit of a priority on that to for customizable links for that.
Yeah, because I do think it makes a difference. Some people, even if they know that they got the job done or whatever might be the case, for some reason they're wary to click on that link because it doesn't look attractive. If it's in, like you said, in the text. I know it's a button, but wait, it comes off as a button in the SMS?
Not in the SMS, it's a link.
Okay, it's a link.
Only in the email. The email does change it to a button, but not the text.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so that's what I mean. So yeah, in the text message, it definitely it's too long. They don't know who it is, and you're sending something on behalf of a different company or one of your clients, and it's saying, you know, our agency name.
Right. So let me ask you, like, ideally, what would you want to see it as? Like the name of the LeadSnap company, or?
No. So if I'm sending out, you know, of the company that I'm sending the review request. So in that case, ABC Plumber, if that's my client.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean by the LeadSnap company.
Oh,
like whatever.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that, or even if it's something generic that just says review us or something, like something.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's possible, I don't know if this is more complex, but you know how you can set up the emails for each company inside of LeadSnap. Maybe there's something that we can do in some sort to do that, where it customizes the domain for that company when you send it out. I don't know if that's the case or not. Yeah, it's just a lot of gibberish in the link, so it just makes people weird.
Yeah, and I personally don't have have like a great understanding on how this works. I know that there has to be a link that is generated. It has to be custom to each one that is sent out, because then that's how it kind of the system's able to tell when somebody has clicked that link. So there may still end up being some numbers on the end that of like an identifier, but maybe we can reduce it to something that is customizable for the first part, and have like a small amount of numbers that's going to be like the identifier at the end. I don't think we'll be able to remove that unless we use some sort of link mask. But yeah, I would have to look into that more and kind of figure out what we can do to make that more customizable. Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you meant like a link mask, maybe like use something like a bit.ly or a tiny URL.
Exactly. It's like maybe we could use some kind of like redirect link where the one that's in the message just is redirecting to a different one, which is the trigger link, which would be what it is now. So you've got like a link mask, but it's still working. Something like that, I think we might be able to do.
Okay, that'd be cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else from anybody? I don't think we have any other questions, Jeff. I know this might be a little bit of a short call, but
Fantastic. No problem. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us, and go get some wins, and we'll see you on the next one. Message me about that marathon. I know y'all are interested. All right. We'll see you.
I appreciate all you guys. Bye.